What's up, everybody? Welcome back to part 2 of the Mother's Day special. I know today is not Mother's Day, I know, but this is a special that we shot. It just ended up being a 2-part series. Don't worry, it's exciting. Let's get right into it. I'm gonna get out the way and let's get right into it.
That we were having. What gives them the qualifications or the credentials to disqualify you?
Ooh.
So what gives him or her? How can they disqualify you? What credentials do they have?
Ooh.
And so, I mean, that was very profound to me. And then, too, what I get from Gianna, and it's like, wow, are we really in that moment that they are educating and encouraging me? So
yeah, that's good. And then I was just thinking when y'all were talking, because you guys' children are older than mine. Well, Nair and Jemiah is running the same year, but I still have a 14-year-old.
Right. 15
now. I gotta get used to it. Or like I tell her, like, your ink's not dry yet, so you still the other age. But just that transition, when you start to see them talking different, acting different, expressing themselves different, or even having those different level of conversations, it sometimes snaps me back like, man, she really not a baby anymore.
Yeah.
And when you listen, and like you said, they have taken things that you've taught them, or I'm a giver. And so a lot of things that I do, I don't even, talk about or think about. So Nair called me the other day like, Mom, I just bought this man some eggs. And it was like a whole story around why she bought the eggs. I won't go into it, but it was just like her like knowing or seeing that that's something that my mom would do, is something that she was telling me. And then Erin and things that she does, and she says like, oh yeah, I got that from you. Like, that's very rewarding too, to see them transition into doing things that they just see, because that's the type of person my mom is. So
it's beautiful. And like I said, it's like you can see the fruit of your labor.
yes,
it is very rewarding. And you like, oh, like I said, oh, you are listening.
Yes.
You did hear me. You are watching. And children, they are a sponge. And even as an adult, they are still sponges. There are some things that now it's like, they're like, oh, wait a minute. When I was younger, A, B, C, D, but now they're older and they're like, wait a minute. It's like a light bulb goes off in their mind. And they're like, oh, that's not how I saw it, or that's not how I portrayed it. And so to see that, and like you said, their transition from, of course, a baby, toddler, preteen, teenager, and now young adult, it is. And I told Jemiah, and I had been telling her, because finally I started getting it. Wait a minute, this girl is 20. She's about to be 21. And, I'm like, Jemiah, if that's what you choose to do, I said, you are about to be grown. And so she had to do she had to switch in her mind. Wait a minute, Mom is saying that. I'm like, girl, you grown. If that's what you choose to do, that's your decision. You can make a decision, however, but I did teach you. I did train you up.
Right.
We trained you up. Now, whichever way you choose, that's on you. But like I said, it's rewarding to see when they do make the right decisions to do certain things. It's really, really good. And I just enjoy it.
But can I tell you, I mean, at some point it kind of hits you like, wait a minute, they are grown.
Yes.
Because you see them still as your baby, right?
Yes.
And then one day there's an aha moment. But I can tell you that it was not until Alex had his third baby, the third grandchild, Zay, that I realized that I had that moment.
Wow.
And I was in the hospital, because every time it was like, I remember they were like, Alice was like, Mom, we going to the hospital. Elise is in labor and this is it. And I drove 3 hours from Hampton, Virginia she was at Walter Reed. And And I'm in there, and here I am trying to tell them what to do, right?
Zay.
Husband, wife, baby number 3. And it hit me. I was like, wait a minute. He is not a little boy anymore. But it was not until that 3rd baby, till Zay came along, that I realized that. So, but otherwise, I still saw him as.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah. And you know what? It's hard because when I watch Jacob with Kalea, son, ABC, and then I'm like, step back, that's not your child. It's my grandchild, but it is not my child. You know, trying to give advice and I'm like, oh, well, you know what? You are grown. This is your child. If that's how you choose to do it, so be it.
I don't know if I'm gonna be ready for that grandparent. We're gonna have to come back and have another conversation with the grandparent, because I feel like I'm gonna be like, bring that baby over here. You can go do whatever you want to do.
But see, that's how I was like, okay, well, are you doing this? Are you doing that? And Isaiah was here. So the first grandchild, I was here whenever he was born. And I felt like I always had to be there. Like, what is he doing? Well, let me have him and give him to me. Like, they're not the parents.
Right.
But you probably will feel that way with the first. Like, no, bring him over here.
I already told you, Maya. I said, you're my grandbaby.
Right.
Here, come on. And I can't do that because it's a separation. It is a separation. So it's an adjustment in your mind, because you will always see your children as your little kid. Right. You know, that's your baby. I don't care how old they are. They're still going to be your baby. Yeah.
And I mean, and this is the same even with Gianna, don't have children yet, but I feel like I'll be the same way. Nope, bring them here or be right there. But what I had to realize again with Alex is, he has a wife, and it'd probably be different if he was single, but right. He has a wife, and they got to raise together this child and do what they decide to do. I can't come in and just keep trying to take over. But it was hard. It was hard.
It really, really is. Yes, it is. So that has been rewarding to us.
Yes.
Rewarding to us. This year, ladies, how would you like to be celebrated for Mother's Day? How would you like to be celebrated for Mother's Day? For me, being with my, well, I can't say because my children are all over the place, but I want to be loved. Just know that I am loved. That means the world to me, and just being with my family. That's how I would like to be celebrated. Mom, I love you, yes.
Yeah.
That is such a good feeling. Your children love you, yeah. But when they express it and tell you, it's like, oh, you really do love me.
Yeah.
No, let me tell you, I tell my children that all the time. I'm like, oh, Jacob, you do love me. He was like, Mom, come on now. You got to know, Jacob. Mom, really? Really, Mom?
So for me, I am a sucker for handwritten cards. I love to hear, sometimes you can find a good greeting card that speaks to what you want to say, but just a handwritten card, I absolutely love those. Anytime they ask me what I want for anything, I usually start with that. And I do have a number of handwritten cards that I've saved over the years for different occasions. So that's one way I would love for them to celebrate me, is with that, and then some good food.
Nothing like good food.
Some good food and just relax. So that's I'm not really too big on gifts. I don't have to get that, though I like gifts. But if I can get a handwritten card, some good food, I'm good.
Good. Well, pretty much what you all have said, and I just want to be loved. That's what I want to do. So love and fellowship. You know, I want to be able to share and spend that time with them. And I hope they realize how important it is to spend that time with your mother, especially if you can.
Yeah.
And I say that because the day is gonna come. It's gonna come, and Mother's Day is gonna roll around, and I'm not gonna be here. No time soon, God. Like, let me live many more years, but that day is gonna come. And so therefore, I know how I feel when Mother's Day roll around and I can't hear my mom's voice on the other end of the phone, or give her a handwritten card, because that's what I used to like to do, or wrap my arms around her or spoil her. So I always say, you know, to those who moms are still here, is to love on her, spend time with her, give her good food, let her sit for that day, put her feet up, and not have to do absolutely nothing. That would be hard for me, for them to do that for me, because, you know, I want to have my hand in the mix. But there are times they've been like, Mom, just sit down. We don't want you to do nothing. But most of all, just love for me.
Oh yeah, it's nothing like it. Nothing.
Yeah.
Because we have our moments where we can just sit back, but when it's time to be celebrated, we definitely want to know that we are loved and appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's for sure. Okay. So I know I sent you all a list of questions, and I'm looking at the time, but I think I'm going to ask 2 more questions. So the next one that I want to know is, what was your first year of motherhood like? Your first year of motherhood, what was that like?
So my first year of motherhood was probably a little scary, but exciting, and learning, challenging. But most of all, I was very protective of Alex, and he probably was in 3 different home daycares. Because if I walked in and saw that something was not right, that was the end of it. He was not coming back. So I was very protective that first year. Didn't want many people around him. Was strict about where he went, so he could not stay anywhere overnight, not unless it was with my parents or his dad's parents. But you know, making sure that he had the best of everything. And then even when it was time to put him in a daycare, it had to be the best daycare. It had to be clean, and if I walked in and saw something was not right, then this mother went off. So I was very protective.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My first year was a little stressful. Like I said, I was young. I was in the military, and it was an adjustment for me. So, and then my mom came to live with me during Nair's first year. So it was like, I'm learning how to be a mom. My mom is there, so, you know, she's seasoned vet mom, and so she knows, you know, what's the right thing to do. And y'all, I'm gonna tell you, I thought she was a little baby doll. I washed her hair every day. I used to slick it down with this baby oil gel, make these little. I was just moving about that first year, you know, just doing what I thought I was supposed to be doing. But it was stressful, but again, rewarding. I did have to do an adjustment, though, to start thinking outside of myself and to think about this little tiny human that I had at that point. So.
Oh, my first year of motherhood, it was the best. He was our first child together. Just the fact that I have a baby, something I always wanted. I told y'all as a little girl. So having Joshua was like, it just, oh my God, it was like, I'm finally a mother. So it was really rewarding. And then having Pastor hands-on with, us raising our child and just watching him grow. And it was like, I'm complete. I got my husband and I got my child.
Yeah.
So it was just so rewarding. And then to just watch him grow, and then me as a mother, to see how I was as a mother. And because you really don't know how you're going to be as a mother until you actually have that child. So it was really, really rewarding. And like you said, Minister Angela, being protective of him. Now for me, and even, they're grown now, but my children staying the night by somebody's house. And this, I have just been, both of us have just been that protective of our child. But yeah, just, oh my God, just being a mother, that it was just wonderful. And he went to a in-home daycare center, and it was a lady who actually used to keep my sister and myself. And then it was wonderful. And then there was times where it was Joshua and it was my niece who went to the same daycare center. So there was times where my sister would get off and she was like, she called me by my nickname, which is Poopsie. Up to this day, you will not hear my sister call me by my first name. And she was like, Poopsie, can I pick up Joshua? And you can pick him up from my house? Yes, you can. And that's what she would do. And just to see, just all of us, just watching baby Joshua, and having family there, and then going home to bathing during that time, and just the interaction. It was beautiful. It's like, when we talk about memories, how it takes you back.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I had a moment. I actually went back as if he was still a newborn baby. And as a matter of fact, oh man, they were down here. I actually have his first pair of tennis shoes that we bought him. So his tennis shoes, I thought it was over here. I can't remember where I put them. But just the memories. Do y'all ever go back and look at the your baby books?
Yes.
Kept one?
Yes, I do have baby books for both. And I do go back and look at their little handprints and their pictures. And I still have, well, my mom has it now, Nair's first Christmas, because she was born December 19th.
Right.
So a few days later was her first Christmas. So she had this little suit that my mom still got in some plastic, y'all, for 20 years. But yeah, so I was going to ask you though, do you guys feel like the first year went fast?
Too fast.
Too fast. Yeah.
And it was like their first birthday. I'm like, and then after that, it's like, yeah.
And the funny thing is, for Joshua's first birthday, Pastor wasn't there. We were stationed in Panama, and he was stationed in Panama, and we and Pastor went to PLDC, which was here in Aberdeen. Okay. So his first birthday, Pastor wasn't there, but I had the church to help me celebrate, and of course, and family. So family is in Panama. So they came to our apartment, and that's how we celebrated Joshua. And it was just so nice. Oh yes. Oh my God. It's like, can they be little again? Can they be little again? I just miss it. But like I said, that first year, it was just so rewarding for me. Just motherhood period is really rewarding for me. Yeah, we make sacrifices for our children. Even when we feel like we're not appreciated, it's still rewarding.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I love being a mother. Yeah, totally love it. Now, what does sacrifices of a mother mean to you, and what are some sacrifices you made or you are still making? Ooh. What does sacrifices of a mother mean to you, and what are some sacrifices you made or make as a mother?
Good question.
Yes, it is. So I can say sacrifices that I made, sacrifices with work. school, and certainly my military career. So with work, I always worked night shift because, and especially when I became a single mom, I worked 12-hour nights. Ooh. Because, during the day, if I needed to go to, or conference, or if they were sick, then I would be home. But during that time, I also sacrificed sleep because, I would have Gianna during the day, Alex would be in school, and sometimes I didn't get much sleep. And I remember like one day I was in the bedroom asleep, and I looked out in the living room and I was like, why is it so light out there? And I went out, and Gianna sitting up on the couch with her legs crossed and her arms crossed, and the door was wide open. And I was like, what are you doing? She said, it's dark in here. So one of the things that I had to do was to then put her in daycare at night, which was hard because when I went to work, she went to daycare. It was a 24-hour daycare. Oh. And so that was hard. So that was a sacrifice. And then with school, of course, I've been in school most of my life, but there have been breaks. There were breaks because of my children or trying to be there for them. I remember whenever I graduated with my, psychology degree, and then had Alex and went back to nursing school, it was a sacrifice. And I went back when he was 18 months old because I felt like he don't know what's going on. He would get the care that he needs, but I felt like if I waited until he was out of high school, that was the time he was going to need me more, or when he was in middle school. So I thought the perfect time was when he was a baby. So again, sacrifice with school, and then of course my military career. So what am I still doing now for the sake of my children? I feel like it may not be work or school, but it's time. So because now it's at a point that they may need to call and talk to me about something. So I may have other things that I need to be doing, but I have to stop and listen and sacrifice my time for them. Because, one of the things that my children told me, like, Mom, you're so busy and you're always on the go. And I thought that I was doing a good job because if I come and I feed you and I give you some time, I was looking at it like at least we're getting some kind of fellowship in. But they didn't like that because they said, you come and you go. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you want? You want quantity or you want quality? Because we can come together and be together for a short period of time, but it's quality.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I want both.
Yeah.
I want quality and I want quantity. And that's what I had to start doing. And so I feel like that's what I'm still giving today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think sacrificing, man, but I guess the number one thing is just putting their well-being all the time before your own.
Yeah.
No matter what the situation, putting them before you has been the number one sacrifice. And that looks different for different situations and at different times. But if I had to wrap it into one, it's just you always, number one is what's best for them and how it's going to affect them. And then how I'm still sacrificing now is I'm still working after I didn't retire from the military. Because that's my sacrifice now. Because if it was up to me, I'll be on the back porch every morning about 9 with some tea, feet up. But they like things and college tuition and all that stuff. So yes, I'm still working until I can get in a position where I don't have to work anymore. So just their well-being is a sacrifice.
Yeah, my sacrifices was putting me and what I wanted to do as far as job to the side so that I could be there for my children. I wanted to make sure that being there for them, being able to be at all the games, all the practices, and support them in every single thing that they do. And I'll never forget, I remember too, a sacrifice was when I was first diagnosed with breast cancer, and Jacob was gonna qualify for state or regional, something like that. And I had just had my surgery. And my question to the doctor was, can I drive? Can we go to Hampton, Virginia? Because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be there for the sake of my health. I was willing to, hey, I gotta be there, I gotta be there for my son, so that I could see him race. That was a sacrifice. And then for Joshua, y'all, for 3 years, y'all, we did so many turn and burns going to Ohio. That's like 5.5 hours to watch Joshua play when he had home games. Sometimes it was every weekend, y'all, on a Saturday, getting up early. We spent more time on the road than we did with Joshua the majority of the time. But those are sacrifices, but I will never ever take them back. If I had to sacrifice and do it all over again, I would. Then I came out the workforce, Pastor, he sacrificed and was like, honey, come out the workforce. And so I was there for Jemiah for her sophomore year. So from her sophomore year until now, we wanted to make sure that one of us was there for her. And you all, my life literally revolved for like 2 years until she started driving. It literally revolved around her schedule. I would drop her off at school, come home. Within a certain time, I got to be home because I got to go pick up Jemiah. Now, y'all, she lives around the corner from the school. However, she ain't walking. She's not going to ride the school bus. So I got to pick her up from school. So I was always there. Then get home. She got dance practice at 4. Okay, got to go. Drop her off for dance practice. Come back home. She's finished at 9 o'clock. Okay, I got to go. So these are sacrifices, but to me, they were just so rewarding. And I wouldn't take it back for anything in the world. I love it, every minute of it. My last question, you all, for our Sunday conversation, it is, what is one advice you would like to leave with us today? One advice.
I would say, like I alluded to earlier, especially for a new parent or someone who is not a parent yet and wants to become a parent. Like I said, there's no handbook. Do the best you can. Remember that they are humans too. So keep that in mind. Have a balance. Pray for them every single day without ceasing. And last but not least, introduce them to Jesus Christ at a very, very early age. And also seek him in all that you do.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Minister Angela.
Well, I would say just continue to be there, encourage them, pray over them, teach them the word. And as we were teaching today, know when to speak and know when to listen, and know when to be silent and just give them, a listening ear. But just continue to encourage them and pray over them. And to, like Sister Rain said, introduce them to God.
Amen. My advice would be to new mothers, don't be hard on yourself. Enjoy every stage of life that your children has. Enjoy it. Don't rush the moment at all. Live in the moment. Pray over your children. Train them up in the way that they should go.
Yeah, that's right.
And sometimes motherhood is all about sacrifices, and that's what we do as a mother. That's a part of the process when it comes to parents. But let your children know that they are loved, how much you love them. And God will also guide you along the way as you're bringing up your child, as you're training them in the way that they should go. And then there's going to be things that you learn about yourselves that is going to happen while you are training your child up. So I thank you, ladies.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Yes.
Conversation. I really enjoyed it. Let me tell you, I pray that you all have a blessed and wonderful Mother's Day. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy you. Enjoy your children. And just enjoy life. That's all I can say. I know it has its ups and downs. But like I said earlier, live in the moment. Know that when there are challenging times, this too shall pass.
That's right.
Amen. So ladies, thank y'all for joining me.
You're welcome. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's
So
Day.
the next time, join in for our Sunday conversation. It may be us and it may not be us, but I thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.